Okay, let's start Kaplan-Meier and gradually move into the regression sessions. Before I get into the lecture today, I want you guys to intuitively think about what's going on so far, okay? We really tried to build a histogram. If we have tons and tons of data set like you did in your simulation, easily 9,999 within 2 seconds. And of course, if you work for some of the, work for Google, Facebook, you have that many transactions, it's a piece of cake. But most of the time, the stuff we're dealing with are either from industry or from clinicians. And a lot of time, we don't have that kind of large data set. Because once you have large data set, you can just do your tally in your histogram and say, okay, where's my VAR, where's my CVAR? But when you have a small data set, what we did really is start from the first death, the first event down. You're really trying to say that how long I have to wait to see another event. So if you have to wait long time, then the slope of that drop will be shallow. And if the slope of that drop is shallow, the FT the PDF is in a very, very small area, low area. And then if your ST is still very, very high, then FT over ST equal to HT gonna be what? Will be very, very small. That means, oh, I have plenty of life, and then my drop is not very, very severe. So you have a shallow stair to drop. And if that's the case, your hazard is not bad. But whenever your ST is not high, and then your FT, the drop is a lot, then you have a very, very steep stairs. And that means that that's a very, very hazard area. And no matter for reliability or survival analysis, we basically try to say that how risky is too risky, how hazard is too hazard. Remember my joke about, if I have, a very, very nice car, and I don't want to ruin it, I'll be very, very careful. The driving behavior will be one kind. But if I have a beat up pickup trucks, and at the end of the life cycle of that truck, and I'll play a lot of very, very risky games, then now you start thinking about how hazard depends on what kind of stage of your life expectancy, okay? I hope you guys can visualize that based on our last exercise. If you see that, now today we're gonna move into the Kaplan-Meier's approach, and I'm gonna use a couple examples, which both are real life example, and it's all about dropped, okay? Kaplan-Meier estimate the survival, and sometimes in SAS, they call it KM estimator, and product limit is called PL estimator. But no matter PL or KM, SAS is doing the same things, okay? Now, for every stage, then what is the ST really generated? If you remember what the exercise looked like, is multiply, 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 accumulate your current level of your ST, and then multiply the new failure. So the drops really is multiplication of how many deaths based on how many still available, and 1 minus that, that's your current level of drop. And this number is less than 1, and you multiply a number, accumulates this less than 1, less than 1, less than 1, sooner or later, your survivability will drop to nada. So this number is less than 1, and this number, it will keep dropping. Why? Because every time when you multiply a number less than 1. So start from the first event, T1, T2, all the way down to Tk. Your ST is getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Okay? So here is an example. Okay? And this example actually is a real study done in 1982. But the event here is not death. The event here is birth or opportunity. So this is a study for subfertile women after 2 different type of procedure. And so what will be the treatment, or that will be the event? They're not having a baby. They would like to have a baby, and so when they reported, "Hey, I'm pregnant," that's the event. Follow me? So event here is not death. Event here is Yahoo. Okay, they're pregnant. So failure here is a good thing. Can you guys visualize that? So what will be the things? Time 0, nobody's pregnant. 38 of them line up, and then week 1, week 2, or months 1. I can't remember the unit they use, but probably months. Months 1, no pregnancy. Months 2, no pregnancy until, yes, I have a pregnancy. Okay, and conceive event, and then the questions. If it's not conceived, and it's no. But at the same time, they'll ask, there are censorship. Censorship will be what? I don't want to take your medicine or your treatment anymore. Okay, so let's look at the histogram or the approach to do this. Okay. Oh, so I'll ask you this. Imagine you work for a company. You train people to do salesmanship for some very heavy duty cloud computing stuff. And after the training program, what do you expect to see? They successfully sell their product, the networks, okay, after the training program. So here is the things, okay? You start from first time of the pregnancy. And then here is the second thing. Number who are pregnant at time t, okay? And not conceive, 0, 0. And so watch here. Star was totally how many of them? 38 of them, right? So 38 drop at time 1, okay? Yay, 36 get pregnant. So from 38, it dropped to 32. 32 minus 5, okay? And also minus not conceive, it would be 27, and then move to 26, okay? And why? Because now I have 1 not conceived, okay? And then 26 minus 3, 23, and so on. So everybody see this as real data, but not different from what we have last week, right? Just drop, drop, drop. And then you turn that drop, drop, drop into Q value. Q value is how many event, and 1 minus the Q value is how many still around, right? So now we will say that, okay, what is your ST value? ST value start from 100% and then always upstairs times the, not increment, the decrement. So upstairs times the decrement. Upstairs times the decrement, okay? And immediately you know this, okay? Whenever you see the value the same, means what? Censorship, censorship, censorship. Okay? If you don't have censorship, you won't have a constant value, a plateau. Okay? And finally, how to estimate the hazard function. Hazard function equal to what? Equal to, equal to the rate of differences, right? Because 1 minus ft, if st is ft, right? So the differences between two sft, the difference between two st equal to what? What's this here? We know here. Let me do it carefully. We know that ft plus should equal to what? 1 minus this guy, right? Huh? Oh, 1 minus this. So okay, so what will be the ft? Ft is the increment. Agree? This is the ft. So I can also say ft is not an increment of ft, is the decrement of st. So if I use this minus this, I will get exactly the same number. Agree? Agree? So what is ht? Ht is the ft divided by st, right? Nobody confused, right? Everybody got it? Okay? So, same thing. I cannot talk about survival at this time unless I survive that long. And when I survive that long, how many failure could happen over that ST? That is my HT. So, first thing first is everybody have no problem to figure out where I get that HT value. Okay, so now if you know your HT value, you actually can do this, okay? You can do this. Let me do it. Insert a curve. But that's not a curve I'm looking for. The curve I'm looking for is from here to here, okay? And that looks ugly. Let me change without change series type, combo XY plotter. Yeah, here we go. And if let me do it this way. If I intentionally, okay, people, there's nothing right now, so the nothing part, just ignore that. Just look at the this part of the HT. Look at this part of the HT. Do you think HT is a constant HT, increase HT, or decrease HT? Huh? Increasing. So if HT is increasing, that means that if I use Weibull distribution to describe it, the shape parameter should be greater than 1, equal to 1, or less than 1. Greater than 1. So now you see we're really looking at this set of pregnancy data, but I can use this pregnancy data to say that, oh, the propensity taking this medicine longer, it's more likely you're going to get pregnant. So as such, if you're the OBGYN doctor, talk to the 38 female candidate or patients, you're going to tell the patients, be patient, it could happen later, or you're going to tell the patients, if nothing happened in the first 5 months or 10 months, if nothing happened, probably the likelihood is going to get less and less. Which one are you going to say? Say, this is a promising drug, keep going, or you're going to say, this is not a promising drug, stop if you don't have anything happen? Huh? It's a promising drug. Why? Because the hazard function going up, up, up. Can you guys see that? Okay, so now I think I give you the gist about why this 38 number, big deal. That 38 number actually tell you more about, how likely there's a promising or there's no promise. Or this thing is memoryless. Hey, do it 10 times, do it 20 times, many times, how old you are, doesn't matter. That's not the case, okay? Next, okay, once you do that, I did it, similar things last week. I show you how to turn them into a, I don't know why I cannot get the, Anyway, let me see if I can bring this thing somewhere else. Yeah, you can see there is a stair function, drop, drop, drop. Okay, and then when you drop, 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 you will have the whole thing's done. But coming out of these things, what is the tricky part, or the things you kind of like worry, is where did all the censorship happen? If it happened at the beginning or happened at the end, they reflect different theory behind this. So where you think you're going to check the censorship is where you have the plateau. Whenever you have the plateau, like here, remember what I said, hey, this drug looks very promising at the end. But then you want to know that the drugs looks promising is because of what is involved. Oh, I'm sorry. In this case, it's okay because you have more event, not having more censorship here. If you have more event, you're fine. Okay. Next, okay, hazard function. Since I said that can be modeled as increase, decrease over time, so I can say that hazard function is equal to a constant k. And if a hazard function equal to a constant k, the h function, or the log, the accumulation of hazard function, equal to kt. And kt is, k is a constant, t increase, k increase, okay? So this is just kind of like the more medicine you take, the more medicine you're gonna accumulate. The more something bad constantly accumulate, okay? Or this is a kind of like accumulate in a kt function. That means that hazard increase over time. The more time you have, the ht will increase. And if this is increasing, so the integration of the KT becomes half of the KT square. So people look at this, what did you see? It's almost like physics, right? Velocity equal to acceleration times time. And then what is displacement is V0t plus half of the AT squared. However, if you have a hazard function equal to a constant divided by t, now this is a different story. That means that the longer you live, the ht dropped because k is a constant. So t getting bigger and bigger, this value getting smaller and smaller. As such, the integration of k over t become k log t. And whenever you have a k log t, that means that the cumulative hazard, okay, is proportional to the log t over time. Okay, it's accumulating, but it's not as accumulating in an increasing fashion, but in a decreasing fashion. Okay, so here are another study, and this time we're going to talk about 44 patients with chronic active hepatitis were received this prednisolone or no treatment. Okay, no treatment. Sometimes we cannot tell patients, I'm not going to give you any treatments. What you going to tell the patients? I'm going to give you some alternative something, and they call it placebo. Okay, placebo could be chocolate, could be something that make the patients think that they are taking the medicine. Okay, so have a couple terms I would like you guys to Google. The first term you need to Google is the term called cohort. Okay, cohort means that whenever I'm doing study, I want to have two groups of people. Okay, they're similar age, similar income, similar whatever. So cohort study means that you have to have more than one group, but within the cohort, they have similar characteristics. Okay. And then the next things I would like you guys to study is that sometimes we look at the data. We can say we look at the data prospectively. And then if you have a prospective cohort study, means that, hey, I have two groups of people. They both group have certain problem, hepatitis or something. And one group taking one medicine, one group taking another medicine, or taking placebo. And then you wait for a long time and see which groups die quicker or have more event. Then that become a shoot and watch study. This is called prospective cohort study. Okay, and Victoria, would you mind copy those terms? Because, okay, thank you. And then if I'm not doing this prospectively, there's the term is kind of like, hey, I have two groups of people. They have a similar outcome or similar something. I would like to look backward and say, hey, what did they do? Did they smoke a lot, or did they do something a lot? Looking backward, what would be the English terms? English-speaking people? Prospective, what's the term? So prospective is looking forward. Looking backward is called what? Huh? No, retrospective. Okay? Yeah. And so they will say that we look a study, look forward, look backward, as we'll call prospective study, retrospective study. And I'm pretty sure, okay, if you guys end up working for some clinical facility, and even Walgreens for the COVID. I'm pessimistic on this. How many of you think that COVID-19 is kind of like trim off? How likely we're going to have a COVID-29 or something COVID-129 within 10 years? What do you think? Or this will be the last pandemic in the 21st century? Yeah. Why? Because we just have more population. We use up a lot of resources, and then when people travel a lot faster using the jet airplane, whatever happened in China, in India, in Egypt, what part of the world, I'm pretty sure within 24 hours, somebody is already in continental USA. And if they're coming in from Chicago, New York, LA, within probably 48 hours, you're not going to know how far they've been traveling within US. So sometimes within 72 hours, you will see a lot of stuff going on. So to have a prospective study, a retrospective study for certain medicine, even Google track. There's a Google map to track how fast certain things spread